And welcome back to another episode of Starfleet Command. Orion Pirates Plus One. I'm Admiral Tarek of the destroyer GCS Wirvikon, an X-type destroyer at that, as we continue our campaign against the Klingon Star Empire. And last time, well, we got the Wirvikon. It is our hand-selected captain, our hand-selected crew to test out the latest and greatest of all Gorn weaponry. We've also been invading most of the northern edge of the Klingon territory, so it appears that we are currently focusing on the tile of 8-8. So without further ado, let us set out into space to see if we can't crush this location. Because if we can, well, it'll be a very nice little pickup. I'm not going to do a planetary assault. I'm actually going to go into the shipyard assault because we are a destroyer and we need to remember that. We're not exactly a dreadnought or a battleship or any one of 1,000 super heavy vessels, which has the marine complements to grab a planet. We have 25 marines and 2 transporters. The minimum number of marines that you can have on an enemy planet is 2, so this would make it a little bit difficult to actually capture the planet. Anyway, we're being escorted today by the USS Permit as well as the GCS Hurl. I hate the name of that ship. But the Permit is a Federation new heavy cruiser? New command, or new carrier. Sorry. As well as the Permit, which is an HBDM-1, more affectionately known as an Alphabet Soup Destroyer, as opposed to us being, you know, a much more powerful and devastating X-type destroyer. We're going to set our plasma torpedoes to overload just to sort of see what sort of tax that we have on power. Oh, we already have the phaser X's fully charged, so we can't really tell all that much. Increase the forward shield. We'll also throw a 4 and a 2 in electronic countermeasure and electronic countermeasure to make us harder to hit and make them easier to hit. A single light cruiser is our current target, and according to the fleet screen, we're dealing with an HF5X1. Well, actually, no, that's enough letters in order to qualify as an X-type, as a, not an X-type, although, capital X, so your mileage may vary, but an Alphabet Soup Destroyer as well. He did indeed also deploy a fighter, and it does appear our plasma torpedoes are not charging quite as quickly as I would like. Probably not going to be ready by the time we actually make it into range, which is unfortunate, because we kind of need them. Maybe we can push enough phaser firepower to actually break him. We got 9 points of power in the shields. The tractor beam is kind of pointless. Unless I just sort of go very slow and just sort of hold him. Or I could go after you. But you're only 2 fighters, so actually my D-type plasma torpedo should have you mostly sorted out without any real trouble. We only have a single launcher, so it does take a little while to actually be effective in. But as you can see, it can blaze away at multiple targets. It just can only stack up 1 torpedo per target. How close are you? I'm not even going to bother killing you. I'm going to kill your mothership first. Because it looks our plasma torpedoes are ready to go. So they are selected, they're ready to rock. We just need to wait until he's actually close enough to us in order to lock him down with a tractor beam. And just give him the love. Follow up the phasers. He's not dead. Huh. It's kind of surprising, actually. I'm going to just hold him in here for just a little while longer. And that's what I was waiting for. Lovely. Unfortunately, he did also, break free. Maybe our aft phasers will deal a sufficient amount of damage to destroy him. So let's just place ourselves here. And Gatling phaser. Yep, did the job. Lovely. Permit has launched his fighter squadrons. He's looking at 2 of them. And we have Lyran Stardocks. Lyran Stardocks are not particularly difficult to kill. Unfortunately for us, they're actually going to be a little bit irritating. Because we're going to have to fire enough plasma in order to make the Stardock deploy a Wild Weasel, shoot it down, and then fire enough plasma in order to destroy the Stardock. We're not really designed to fight installations, nor are we designed to fight planets. Well, this ship is very much designed to fight other ships. It's a good destroyer, actually. I kind of like it a lot, just because the combination of weapon systems gives us a lot of options. It doesn't have a super large and heavy plasma torpedoes, but it has enough of them that it basically has a large and heavy plasma torpedo. I mean, 6 plasmas of F and G configuration. That right there is going to rock you just a stupid amount of death and destruction that you can deal. And he's activated. Yeah, because it's 120 damage until we actually activate the system in overload mode, in which case how many plasma Gs do we got? 4 plasma Gs? Yeah, that's 80 damage right there. Or no, they become 40 each because they double in damage. So 160 plus, yeah, we do 200 damage, which is the same level as a battleship's plasma complement. Which is kind of ridiculous. We need to deactivate... Nope, not that one. Which plasma torpedoes are currently selected? Because it's showing me as having a pair of plasma Gs select... Oh no, phaser Gs. Duh. Okay, let's just pull into a stop because we're going to need to do this properly. We have quite a bit of defensive firepower. And we'll use one of our Gs. Okay, so it did take 2, which is unfortunate. We're going to have to wait until the attack shift goes away, and then we can immediately strike. And once that's dealt with, we might be through. That's gone. And enough plasma firepower to actually cut through his forward shields. We're, however, now relying on our electronic countermeasure, which may be a bit of a mistake. We don't need any ECM at the moment. And I'm just going to put the rest of the power into the forward shield. Keep the phasers firing. We're just going to cycle through them as fast as possible. If we can then... Oh, good. We've taken out his shuttle bay, which means we can just open fire with all of our plasma the moment it's ready. But the phasers might do the job before that even happens, because we have a fairly nice phaser complement. So the D&T that we used to be in, the Plasma Destroyer Dreadnought, did less damage than this ship does in total, because the D&T had a single... had 2 R-type plasma torpedoes, so 50 to 100, and 3, so 160 in plasma, unless it overloaded it, in which case it became, to be fair, 260, which is a little bit more than us. But the phaser complement, we actually exceed him, because we have 8 phaser X's and 2 phaser G's, and those G-type phasers are pretty ridiculously awesome. So we're going to do exactly the same thing to this guy. We're going to lob a pair of G-type plasma torpedoes. He will attempt to defend. We'll then follow up with a whole ton more. Actually, no, we'll fire the Fs. Oh, but the Fs won't punch a hole as good. Oh, they shouldn't need to. So we'll fire a pair of F-type plasma torpedoes. The nose-mounted ones right here. And he should, and he did. Right? Yes, you did. Okay, lovely. So he launched his defenses. Oh, I think we're a bit too close, unfortunately. So get ready to strike with all of the plasma that we have. This should deal enough damage to be able to cut through any defense that he has. Oh, we're not too close. Lovely. Alright, there goes all of his shields. And we've done quite a bit of damage to him already. And now we can just sit here and continue to bombard. And that's all we need to wait for. Maximum speed of time. I'm kind of surprised he's not using his ESG. Because you'd think it'd be a weapon that he could bounce into us. But apparently he has opted to refrain from utilizing it. Maybe he's just out of power. Alright, on to the last fleet repair dock. We're actually doing this a lot better than I thought we would be. I thought we were going to be struggling mightily to get anything done to these fleet repair docks, but it has proven not to be the case, although part of that is no doubt because they're Lyran repair docks, and Lyrans are not exactly well known for building installations. They like to... I was about to say they like to destroy them, but to be perfectly blunt, the Lyrans don't really do anything in this game all that well. So, pro tip, don't play Lyrans. Nah, you shouldn't feel that bad about it, although, ooh, the Lyrans may end up becoming our Cardassians. That would be terrible. Empire Defense is down to 30, lovely, and this one is down to 5, so let's keep the pressure going. We want to bounce between these two, isolate this location as best we can. Ooh, looks like we lost an important tile over there. We may have to go back over there and take care of it, but we need to cause as much havoc as we can. If we can grab this planet, that would be a lovely little pickup. That's a proper, secure stronghold right there. What was the mission again? Oh yeah, Enigma. Almost forgot. Plasma torpedoes, set them to overload. It still gives me enough power to actually move this bucket. I love it. How much power actually do I have, just in general? An excess of 1, and I take 0.7 every time I want to move. Interesting. That does give us a maximum speed right now of 6 while we charge all the systems, and we'll throw all the additional power into the forward shield just in case we run into anything dangerous, which we have, sort of. It's a frigate, so there's that. And according to the fleet screen, we are dealing with F5WX, which is not something I really care about. Do you have anything on board we're stealing? You do. Okay. So since he has something on board we're stealing, the dilithium crystals, we're going to kick up the speed to a quite high level so that we can steal it and then, well, wow, once the phaser capacitor is fully charged, we can charge every single one of our plasma torpedoes and still have almost 3 points of power freely available to do whatever the heck we want with it. I love it. So this is a nice little destroyer. Oh, it's a shame. So let's see if we can't go steal the dilithium crystals, target you, slow down the speed of time so I can just do this real quick in my hands. Going too fast, so gonna have to probably high energy turn this one. Although maybe not. Slow down, and grabbed him. Nice. Okay, so plasma torpedoes. High. Overload the phasers. Didn't quite kill him. Huh, I'm a bit surprised in that one. We did a fairly decent amount of damage to him, though. Although, have we knocked out? We have not knocked out all of his defensive systems. Still haven't knocked out that tractor beam. I'm really surprised at that one. I was expecting this. There we go, taking him down. It took a couple of follow-ups, but the amount of damage that we dealt was pretty indisputable. Now, it may be a good idea to instead simply fire our plasma torpedoes on small targets like that, just in boring mode. It's the normal firing mode, but it concentrates all the damage onto the single shield instead of doubling the plasma torpedo's maximum potential damage and then separating it across all 6 shields. So you lose a little bit of efficiency in there, but it does leave them vulnerable for follow-up attacks. So 300 prestige for that one, and a neutral tile. We'll pop back over here, see if we can keep the pressure going. And another shipyard assault that we can grab onto really quick here. And that will allow us to, once again, knock out a couple of shipyards, hopefully without too much danger. We're being escorted once again, lovely, by the Richards as well as the Permit again, although the Permit seems to have gotten a little bit of an upgrade. That is not the smaller vessel that we were looking at before. You're an XCA, aren't you? No, you're a CBX. Okay, so you are a heavy command cruiser with an X-type refit. 4, 8, 10 phaser X's. That is pretty serious. Although the rest of his firepower ain't all that much. And we're going up against the C7 and HD5. Now the C7 is a Klingon battle cruiser, which is pretty rough and tumble to have to take on. The HF5X, the Alphabet Soup Destroyer, is not too terrifying to us at the moment. Let's go prep the rest of our defenses at like so. Go into a little bit of electronic countermeasure. We'll go 2 and 2, so I don't have to spend all of my power on that. And we'll start to kick up the speed a little bit. We want to move in fast, nimble, latch onto him once, and then break him. So we'll increase the speed time as we close the distance. We kind of don't want to be his primary target. I mean, he's probably going to be that way, but if we can avoid it, yeah, he's going to come into me. Okay, that's all on speed of time. Alright, I have a fairly decent amount of forward shield reinforcement. Slow down even more. In fact, we're probably just going to anchor stop this one because he's got enough firepower in order to give me absolute pause on things. So, defensive. Was that a scatter pack? It was a scatter pack, you idiot. You're facing a plasma boat and you scatter pack? That was your big plan. Give me a let go. Oh crap, we're actually going to take a lot more damage. So maybe not quite as much of an idiot as I sort of implied. We did take more damage than I otherwise intended, because I forgot to turn, when I set my phasers to overload mode, that automatically takes them off the point defense grid. And so that's why that didn't work out nearly as well. And this Gatling phaser for some reason always shoots backwards. So that's a bit of a problem. But we should have things mostly under control in short order. The Death Slayer has been pretty much mauled and is now dead. That Heavy War Destroyer is also in not great condition in short order. As, again, our Gatling phaser can get involved as long as he's behind me, which, you know, is a fairly terrifying weapon system. If you want to hang back there, I'm perfectly content to let you do that, because my forward shield is down, but not my aft shields. And as long as you hang back there, I can just continue to maul you, and there's nothing you can do about it. Lovely. Look away from the star dock, please. It is an RFRD. Oh, that's unfortunate. It's a Romulan fleet repair dock, so this one actually can defend itself. Although it will be very important for us to knock out all facings of the shield on this one. As long as we're here, patch the engine, patch that, patch that, patch that, and patch that. Just to make sure that we get everything done properly. So the reason why we're going to absolutely make sure that we're using developing plasma torpedoes on this star dock is because he's going to cloak, probably, potentially. He has the ability to do it, and if he does do it, then it just makes life absolutely miserable for everybody. And so by using our enveloping plasma torpedo, we can actually... I actually have my tractor in charge? Huh, thought I was using point of mine. By knocking out all of his shields, we can ensure that even once he cloaks, we'll be able to deal a fairly decent amount of damage to him. So I can probably get... Yeah, I can get 20 defense on that, no problem.
Phasers set to point defense.
So shut the phasers off entirely. I don't want them used for point defense whatsoever. We're just going to pull up into a nice little parking orbit right next to him. Although it is a little bit dangerous for us to use our more aggressive weapon systems. Although, if you would like to engage with your... No. I was about to say, if you were about like to engage with your missiles, you could actually get a lot of work done, but that's not going to happen. So wait for that to go away. All the plasmas. Yeah, the forward shield helped, sort of, ish. How much power do I have in the forward shield at the moment? 17. Yeah, that's not tremendous. I'd like to knock down your forward shield in its entirety, but I can't guarantee that. I don't actually have enough power to defend myself. Huh. Who'd have thought it? Set it down. So give me enough power to actually hold off against his incoming plasma torpedo strike. Okay, that's taken care of. 20.3 points of power in the forward shield. Alright, we got him down. Wow, apparently we just need to do 2 salvos of plasma torpedoes and that is enough. Are you guys going to show up sometime this week? That would be very helpful. I mean, if you're feeling like it. No, the Rich is kind of coming in. How about you? No, he's just sort of zigzagging, wallowing, doesn't really care what the heck's going on. He's not involved in this battle at all. Which is the close one? I don't know. This one. Because the Rich is going for this one. It'll make my life a little bit easier. So again, we'll pick the nose plasma torpedoes because we can use those to bait out his wild weasel. Hi, have that. And there he goes. And I'll stop. And plasma. And phasers, just to make sure that we wipe it out. And that's why we did it. So now we're going to get right on top of him. And we're just going to keep on blasting away with our phaser X's. Oh, we've taken out his... Excellent, we've taken out his F-type plasma torpedo, so he can't do anything about that anymore. We are going to take a painful amount of damage when he explodes, but the forward shield is held. Alright, on to the last dry dock? Yes, indeed, okay. So now we just need to go in and do that one more time. Richards, are you going to come with us? Hey, it looks like the permit's shown up. Glad of you to join us. Now, for a heavy command cruiser, you look identical to the normal command cruiser. Something odd in that. But then again, the normal command cruiser also looks like the refit heavy cruiser, so there's that. Although I'm not quite sure what you would do to sort of differentiate between the two. You're kind of limited on certain options. So more photon torpedoes getting lobbed way off in the distance. We're going to pull up into basically a parking orbit. I'm going to slow down a bit to make sure that if I get surprised, I will still have enough forward shield defense in order to tank his plasma torpedo. And there it goes. Wait for it. Slow down a bit more, just because, we can just ignore your entirety of your firepower. And then these. And I'll stop. Wait for it. Wait for that attack shift to go away. We'll follow up with the plasma torpedoes, which means we're not going to have an opening here, but we can do something about it soon. Wait for it. And follow. Okay, so we've knocked out his forward shield in its entirety, and his F-type plasma torpedo, while not being down yet, will be shortly. We're going to get on top of him so we can just start blasting into him with still some accuracy, because we can set it range 0 and just hit him with phasers over and over and over again, and eventually he will die. And hopefully we'll even knock out that F-type plasma torpedo with any significant amount of luck. We did not, but our forward shield managed to hold. So that's great. Turn. Turn the ship. I don't want to have my bow towards him when he explodes, because he's about to explode. There we go. So, 2 successful shipyard missions done in our little destroyer, although we did take a lot more damage on that one than I otherwise wanted to. But that's okay, because we're a tough little ship, and we have more than enough shields to actually be able to handle whatever he's throwing our way. 450 prestige is our reward for a job well done. Empire defense is down to 25. Set down here, maybe we can actually complete the cutoff. Taking a full-on patrol on this one, see who we actually need to actually engage. So, with any luck, it won't be too big. It appears to be a single frigate. And we have friends. We have the USS Hope and the USS Antares. Oh wait, he's got a friend. He's got a little frigate and a freighter. So we're going to target him because, obvious reasons, he's the most powerful at the moment. Plasma torpedoes I'm going to set to overload, just in case. It's not the most efficient use of a G-type plasma torpedo, but it does kind of hurt him on all sides and makes him vulnerable for follow-ups, and since we are so fast, making a ship vulnerable for a follow-up attack is kind of important for us, isn't it? There is a CVS, though. You are more important on many, many ways. Now, our overloaded plasma torpedoes are actually really good at breaking fighters. Or at least they will be, because they'll do 40 damage as opposed to only doing 20. So that's not a terrible thing. Are you equipped with a plasma torpedo? Because I get the feeling that you would be equipped with a plasma torpedo. Let's find out. We'll limp on over there. Yeah, you are. You're equipped with multiple plasma torpedoes. And the Gatling phaser is going to just light that up, which is unfortunate, because I wanted to save the power. Mainly the forward shield power. Oh boy, you got a lot coming in for me, don't you? It might be a good idea just to streak past at full speed. I think that's exactly what I'm going to do, actually. Because he's managed to stretch himself out just enough. So if I do this fast enough, I can hit him, grab him. Well, I can grab him, hit him, and then pull through. So get ready on the pullout already. We'll drop this. 3, 2, 1. Hi! Not enough time.
Taking hull damage.
Okay, so our Gatling phaser got involved already, and it looks like he took... Oh, he was able to break on a dime. Who are you, and why are you involved? Oh, wow, you're an interesting knife fighter. He's got he's got 2 Gatling phasers on the bow there, and he's got an additional 5 phaser X's. That is a phaser gunfighter. Set this to normal. We're not going to be able to use it anymore. But the fighters are fully engaged on somebody else, so I can basically ignore them for now. So I was really hoping that things would go very, very differently on that strike. I was hoping that he wouldn't have time to get things back involved, but maybe I should have just ignored it. Alright, we are going to be coming in on his weakened stern, so that does give us a little bit of an advantage here. As I can basically strike through this aft section of his ship, overload the phasers, make sure they're set and ready to go, and get right on top of him for the maximum amount of damage. 40 damage, and then we'll just spray down his front. So we've managed to knock out his shuttle bay in its entirety. He's at a speed of 8, which is not terrible at all. And as long as... Well, he's also doing a speed of 31. Let's pick up the base. I don't want to be caught dead by these people. Wait a second. The Hope is a light cruiser? What? What kind of light cruiser are we looking at here? CLR. Huh. So it's a light cruiser refit. Which is kind of sad, actually, because you are not terrifying. I'm sorry. Also, you have a very derpy looking ship, so you have that working against you. So the LX-0 is currently focused on us, it seems. Yeah, he's definitely coming our way. We really want to keep him outside of a range of 3, because as long as we do that, we can avoid his Gatling phaser, which is his big... I can't call it its biggest stick, but it's a lot of damage. It is the equivalent he's got there of 8 phaser 3s, which is not terrible at all. Okay, crunch down the shields, pass on through. Gatling phaser, took him out. Okay, good. And we'll pass through completely. And where's this NSR? Hi, could you go fight him? That would be helpful, because he's about to pass through, and I need a little bit of protection on my stern, because we're not invulnerable. We're tough, not invulnerable. So Cataclysm is currently shooting us at a speed of 31, as long as we keep it far enough range, though. How much power do I have? Looks like it's just you now, buddy. So he's got the bit in his teeth. He's coming right for us. So let's break off in this direction, see if we can't just extend the range out, because I don't want to have to deal with him just yet. I'd also love to get him off this stern, because this stern is incredibly vulnerable at the moment. Plasma torpedoes should be charging as normal now. How much power do we actually have in According to this, we are open at 6.8. Lovely. So we'll just zip on in here and nail him before he can actually do anything. That will be the goal. So plasma torpedo probably won't be ready for this pass, but we will probably hurt him quite badly. I'm really surprised the Antares isn't sort of more breaking into the location. Alright, Cataclysm. Most of his shields are vulnerable, so a phaser pass should hit like a truck. Especially once we blow through, because I think that might be the best idea. Oh, his Gatling phasers are about to be cycled on again. Gotta get close, gotta close! Okay, not as much damage as I wanted, but the Gatling phaser for the follow-up managed to completely wipe him out. So that should take the tile, and if that's the case, we've cut off this planet from the rest of the Klingon Star Empire, and we can focus most of our efforts in trying to steal it. Yes, indeed, we have grabbed it, so this little corner is now ours to play in. We need to steal this tile. Another 5 or so missions should knock it out, although they are starting to push back here, and we do need to stop that soon. I'd like to get this taken first, but we may have to move over here for some emergency action. Anyway, that's going to do it for today's episode. I've been Tarek. If you like what you've been seeing, hit that like button and subscribe. If you want to see a notification every time I post one of these videos, press that little bell icon, leave a comment, and I will see you all in the next episode.